Princess Alexia Midgar confronts her father, the king, demanding answers about the Darkassan's case. She declares with unwavering conviction that the Nightblades are guilty and, worse, working with the Diabolos Cult too. Alexia insists it is high time the King of Midgar finally told her what he knows about the shadowy organization. The king responds with a profoundly dramatic silence, staring out a large window. He finally speaks, acknowledging with a weary sigh that she has been looking into the cult with such zeal. Enraged, Alexia demands to know why the country has done nothing, shouting, "You already knew who was behind it all." The king bows his head, apologizing as a father, but explaining that as king he can't make any careless moves. He reveals the grim truth. Their military strength pales in comparison to the cult's forces, which include the 1,000-year-old Knights of the Round and enhanced fighters. A vision of a ruined city flashes by as he explains that all who previously stood against them were utterly destroyed. Alexia asks if even an entire state is helpless, and her father concedes that it was, but the status quo has slowly begun to shift. He attributes this change to the recent arrival of the mysterious Shadow Garden. The king explains that Shadow Garden has been relentlessly weakening the cult while expanding its own power, making the cult's actions feel like panicked responses. He then voices his ultimate fear, that Shadow might rid the world of the cult only to take over the world instead. The king admits he is carefully evaluating whether to rely on him or be wary of him, as they cannot tell if Shadow Garden is an ally or just another foe. Alexia is shocked when her father reveals that the Queen of Oriana has already threw in her lot with the Shadow Garden. He urges her to recall how Shadow always stood behind Rose Oriana, orchestrating her path to the throne. Alexia thoughtfully remembers that Shadow was indeed the one who helped Rose escape the Bushin festival. The king dismisses her simple assumption that Oriana sided with them for protection, stating that might necessarily be so. He reveals the cult, allied with an empire, plans to invade Oriana under the pretense of suppressing heresy. Staring out the window, the king gravely concludes that war is coming, and Midgar will soon have to choose a side, the cult or Shadow. Later, a blushing Alexia arrives at Christina's room, announcing she has her father's permission to stay over. Kanade erupts with joy at the prospect of a sleepover, especially when Alexia reveals she brought secret snacks and brand new pajamas. Kanade is ecstatic, proclaiming it an honor to have a pajama party with the princess herself, while Alexia internally denies being excited at all. Sid looks on in abject horror as Kanade gleefully suggests they play Old Maid until the sun comes up, causing him to mutter that hell hath been unleashed. Alexia smugly teases him, "You can't even hide your joy at my being here." To which Sid retorts, "Does this look like a face of joy to you?" The princess then graciously offers to take the filthiest bed here, which Sid miserably identifies as his own. She cheerfully sentences him to the floor, flipping him a handkerchief for comfort as he pitifully asks if he can go home. Alexia flatly refuses, reminding him, "You're here for safety, aren't you?" and mentioning an incident from the previous night. She points to a dark stain on the floor, assuming it's blood from the fight. But Kanade pops up from the stain, cheerfully claiming, "Oh, that was me! I spilled some coffee." Christina explains they moved rooms because the knights are still investigating the scene of the attack. She reports that the inspector suspects Jack the Ripper is an assassin hired by House Hope, and that the victims were lured there by her family. Kanade adds that since the attackers were masked, they can't refute the accusation. Sid, ever the helpful background character, chimes in, "But wasn't there that message?" Alexia turns, surprised, asking, "A card?" Christina confirms Jack left one and produces a copy for them to examine. The note contains a jaunty, blood-scrawled poem about homicide and taking time off to play. Kanade excitedly raises her hand, sure she knows what Mr. Jack wanted to say. She offers a bizarrely cheerful and elaborate interpretation involving seasonal greetings and the fun of Old Maid, earning a deadpan, "No, I don't think that's quite it." Christina agrees the murder threat is obvious, but feels like there's more to it. Sid, seizing his moment, points to the paper and instructs them to read the first letters in each row. Christina deciphers the acrostic WHIT, wondering if it could mean Count Bribarry White. She explains he is a high-ranking Nightblade who owns a mansion called Chateau Blanc. Christina praises Sid for the amazing discovery, while Kanade tries to claim she noticed too. Sid isn't finished, declaring, "But there is more we're overlooking." He reveals the card was the 10 of spades, which he masterfully deciphers to mean the attack will happen tomorrow, the 10th day of the 10th week of winter. The group stands in stunned silence as Alexia realizes Jack the Ripper will attack Count White tomorrow? She grins, exclaiming, "Good boy!" and prepares to set a trap, but Kanade questions why the killer would reveal his plan. Sid launches into a magnificent, rapid-fire rant about Jack's genius intellect that mere mortals can't comprehend. He then suggests they inform the knights to clear Christina's family's name. Christina looks troubled, realizing that if they do, Jack the Ripper will be. Sid bluntly confirms he'd have absolutely no chance and would be cut down in a second. Christina hesitates, arguing, "He saved us, didn't he?" and wondering if he's also a victim. Sid offers a cold, logical explanation that Jack saved them for efficiency. Christina firmly disagrees with Sid's assessment. She recalls how he annihilated all of his enemies on his own without needing their help. A faint, admiring smile crosses her face as she remembers his brilliant display of otherworldly strength. The other girls immediately turn on Sid, booing him for running away, with Alexia calling him rotten scum. Kanade points accusingly, vowing she'll never forget his eyes of a traitor. A flustered Sid quickly changes the subject, suggesting they all work together on a plan to capture Jack, and Christina agrees. Just as she agrees, Christina remembers, but there's another mystery. She reveals a vase was stolen from the hallway during the incident. Sid feigns shock upon hearing the 200 mil vase by Da Binzi was taken, only for Christina to clarify it was a worthless replica. She admits she has no idea why the culprit took such a worthless thing. Alexia smugly points out the real mystery is why a thief would steal an obvious fake when more valuable art was available. She delivers a savage blow, musing that the thief must be an unsophisticated boor, or someone whose entire being screams poor, causing Kanade to burst into tears. While Sid and Kanade slump in despair from the verbal assault, Alexia and Christina declares the theft must be another hidden clue they need to investigate.